Hello everyone, I Dr. Kirti Sahu welcome you all on the video lecture of linear dependence and independence of the vector. So outline of the video is, we will start with definition of vector, then we will discuss what is meant by linear dependence and independence of the vector, then we will go through the important results followed by the working rule to check the linear dependence and independence of the vector along with few examples. So let us begin with vector. So what is meant by vector? So an ordered set of n numbers x1, x2, x3 up to xn is called a vector. Vectors are generally denoted by single capital letters such as capital X, Y, Z, etc. So if we have a row matrix, then that is called as a row vector. Similarly, column matrix will be called as a column vector because we have the order of n number of vectors. Now let us see what is meant by linear dependence of the vectors. So the set of n vectors x1, x2 up to xn, the condition is that they should be of same dimension, are said to be linearly dependent, which we write in short as LD. If there exist scalars alpha 1, alpha 2 up to alpha n, so note that if we have n number of vectors, then scalars are also same in number. Not all zero. Not all zero means at least one is non-zero, such that alpha 1 x1 plus alpha 2 x2 plus up to alpha n xn is equal to 0, where 0 is a null vector. This equation is called as a linear combination. Therefore, what is meant by linear dependence? So, if linear combination is 0, where at least one scalar is non-zero, is called as linearly dependent set of vectors. Now, what will happen if all scalars are 0? So, if all scalars are 0 in this linear combination, then the set of vectors are said to be linearly independent. Okay, so all alpha 0, then linearly independent, and if at least or more than one scalars are 0, then that is said to be linearly dependent. I hope the definition is clear to you. Okay, so take scalar combination 0. What will be possibility? If any one of the scalars non-zero, then the given set of vectors are linearly dependent. Next possibility, if all scalars are 0 in a linear combination, then the vectors are said to be linearly independent. Let us have some important results which we are going to use in order to check the linear dependence and independence of the vector. So, system of homogeneous equation Ax is equal to B. Homogeneous means right hand side matrix is 0. So, here B is a 0 matrix, is always consistent, right? So, no need to check the consistency in case of homogeneous system of equation. Now, when homogeneous system of equation is consistent, there will be two possibilities. If the rank of A is equal to n, then the system will have a unique solution, and which is always a 0 or a trivial solution. So, in such case, the given set of vectors will be linearly independent. Now, second possibility is, if rank of A is less than n, then the system is always consistent and it will have infinitely many solutions, and here we will have the given set of vectors as linearly dependent. And when given set of vectors are linearly dependent, then there exists a relationship between the given vectors. Now, when we have infinitely many solutions, then what we do? So, for obtaining infinite many solutions, just assign n minus r number of variables an arbitrary constant value, and then find out the remaining r number of variables in terms of these arbitrary constant values. Now, method to write the linear combination of system of vectors into a matrix form. Suppose we have three vectors x1, x2, x3. So we will start with linear combination is equal to 0. Let us call it as equation 1. Now what we do here, we'll put x1, x2, x3. So x1, x2, x3. Now the dimension of the null vector on the right hand side must be same as the dimension of the vectors on the left hand side. So here dimension is, it is 1 by 3, right? So that's why here also 1 by 3. What we do here, multiply each element of the vector by these scalars. So here it will be alpha 1 into 1, alpha 1, then 2 into alpha 1, 2 alpha 1, 3 into alpha 1. Like this we will multiply each vector component of the vector by the scalars. So we get such type of expressions. Now what we find here, here we find the addition of the three vectors. Addition of the three vectors. How to add three vectors? So add their corresponding components. So what we do, we will add first component of each vector. So what we have? We have alpha 1 plus 3 alpha 2 plus alpha 3. The next, add a second component. So 2 alpha 1 minus 2 alpha 2, then minus 6 alpha 3. Next we add third component. So 3 alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus 5 alpha 3 equal to this. Now what we observe here, we have one vector on the left hand side equated with the vector on the right hand side. Now when the two vectors are equal, if their corresponding components are equal, so let us equate first component. So what we get? Alpha 1 plus 3 alpha 2 plus alpha 3 equal to 0. Next we add second component. So what we have? 2 alpha 1 minus 2 alpha 2 minus 6 alpha 3 equal to 0. And finally equating third component. So we have 3 alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus 5 alpha 3 equal to 0. Now what we observe here? Here we have three system of equations, homogeneous system of equations. So in order to decide their linear dependence, we need to first write it in a matrix form. So let us write this in a matrix form. So what we do? So here we will write the coefficient of alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3 in as a first row. So what we have? Alpha 1 has a coefficient 1. So 1, alpha 2 is 3, then the coefficient of alpha 3 is 1. So 1, 3, 1. Similarly we write the coefficient of second equation as a second row. So we have the second row in this way. And finally we write coefficient of this third equation as a third row, right? Then into the unknown over here are alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 equal to the right hand side matrix, that is 0, 0, right? So like this we can write a linear combination of system of vectors into a matrix form. Now we can write, so what we have seen here, we have gone through so many steps, right? So one can write from this linear combination this matrix form directly. How to write? See here, we have first vector as x1 in this linear combination. So just write the elements of this vector as a first column. So what are the elements? 1, 2, 3. So we'll write that as a first column. Then second vector is x2. Write its component as a second column, that is 3 minus 2, 1. And the third vector is 1 minus 6, 5, that will form the third column. So like this, from a given vector and a linear combination, we can directly write the matrix form of the system of equation from which we have to find out the values of alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, means the scalar. Okay, I hope this direct way of writing the given vectors into a matrix form must be clear to you all. So let us proceed further. Now let us see what is the working rule to decide the linear dependence and independence of the vector, and once we get the linear dependency, then how to find out the relationship between them. So let x1, x2, x3 be the given n vectors. Now, so as n number of vectors are there, so we'll select n scalars. say alpha 1, alpha 2 up to alpha n, such that they are a linear combination, that is alpha 1 x1 plus alpha 2 x2 plus up to alpha n xn is equal to 0. Our aim is to find out scalars alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha n. So we will form a system of linear equation Ax is equal to b. Just now in a previous slide I have told you how to find out how to write the A. So here A is obtained by writing first vector as a first column, second vector as a second column. Likewise we will write the other elements. Now X is a nothing but column matrix of scalars, right? And B is a column matrix of zeros on the right hand side. So like this we can write the system of equation Ax is equal to b. From this we will form the augmented matrix k equal to a to b. Now then after this reduce k into upper triangular matrix using elementary row transformation. Then we will find out the rank of A. Remember, in a homogeneous system of equation, whatever will be the rank of A, same is the rank of K. So here rank of A and K will be same. Now then compare rank of A with the number of unknown. So here remember, the number of unknown is nothing but the number of scalars to be evaluated. So there will be two possibilities. If rank of A is n, the system is directly linearly independent. And if the rank of A is less than n, then the system is linearly dependent. So if the system is linearly dependent, then solving the equation, system of equation given by equation 2, right, we will get the values of unknown, which then gives the required relationship between the vectors. So I hope the working rule is clear. So what we do first, we will select the scalars. Scalars will be equal in number to that of the given vectors. After that we will write the system of equation in matrix form Ax is equal to b, where A is nothing but obtained by writing first vector as a first column, second vector as second column, and so on. X is a matrix of scalars and right hand side is a matrix of zeros on the right hand side. That will be a column matrix. Once we get that matrix form, what we do? We'll form augmented matrix, we'll reduce it into upper triangular form, we'll find out the rank so as to compare it with the number of scalars. If it is equal, system is linearly independent, and if it is less than n, system is linearly dependent. If linearly dependent, just solve the system of equation 2 for the unknowns and get the required relationship between the given vectors. Now, so with this let us see how to solve the example. So the first example is investigate linear dependence of the vectors 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, minus 2 and 2, minus 2, 1. So as three vectors are given, let us denote them by say x1, x2, x3. So let there exist scalars alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. Such that alpha 1 x1 plus alpha 2 x2 plus alpha 3 x3 is equal to 0. Now we will write this system of equation in a matrix form as. So what will be the first column? Will be first vector. Second column will be the second vector. Third column will be the third vector into scalars, column matrix of scalar is equal to column matrix of 0. So this is nothing but Ax is equal to b. Let us call it as equation 2. After this, we'll form the augmented matrix denoted by K. Now, so K is having first element A is this matrix, write down its elements, and then right hand side 0 matrix will be the last column. Now, identify diagonal elements. See, the first diagonal element is 0 or non-zero. Now it is non-zero. So what we do? We'll reduce all element lying below it 0 with the help of this only. So we will perform the operation. We need to convert this 0. So what we do? We'll multiply this by 2 and subtracting from the second row. So that's why R2 minus 2R1 changes will take place in R2. Similarly, for third row, the operation will be R3 minus 2R1. So here first row remains unchanged, whereas according to this operations defined, there will be changes in the second and third row like this. Okay, now Again we'll identify diagonal elements. What we observe? The second diagonal element is minus 3, non-zero, and for the sake of simplicity, what we do? We will divide second row by minus 3 and third row by also minus 3. This is optional step, it is not necessary. This we are doing just for simplifying the further calculations. So we have this type of matrix after dividing second and third row by minus 3. Now again we will identify diagonal elements. The second diagonal element is 1, non-zero. So make this 2 0 with the help of 1. So the operation will be, what will be the operation? It will be R3 minus 2R2. Changes required in third row. For this, from the third row, we will subtract 2 times the element of the second row. So we get the matrix in this way. Now again identify diagonal element. Now what we observe here, all elements below the diagonal is 0. So this is nothing but a what? This is the upper triangular matrix. So we have received our first target, that is to reduce the augmented matrix into upper triangular matrix. So what we do? We will find out the rank of A and K. What is the rank of K? So count number of non-zero rows. Number of non-zero row is 3, and as I said, it is a homogeneous, means last column is 0 system of equation. So that's why rank of A as well as rank of K will be 3. This I am denoting by R. Now also find out number of unknown. Number of unknown means over here number of scalar, that is 3. So what is the relation between R and N? So we get R is equal to N. Therefore, the system A has a unique solution, and in a homogeneous system, the unique solution is always a trivial solution, that is a 0 solution. Therefore, we have alpha 1 0, alpha 2 0 and alpha 3 also 0. Hence, the given vectors are linearly independent. As I said, when all scalars are 0, then given vectors are linearly dependent. So, there won't be any possibility of getting the relationship. So, I hope the procedure is clear to you all. Okay, shall we move to the next problem? Okay, so let us take next example. Examine the following vectors for linear dependence and find the relation if exist. So here we have 3 vectors again. Let us denote them by x1, x2, x3. Select 3 scalars such that linear combination 0. Write it in a matrix form. So first column is the first vector, second column is the second vector, third column is the third vector. And then matrix of unknown. Unknowns are alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 equal to, now whatever will be the dimension of this unknown column matrix, same will be the dimension of the right hand side matrix. So we have Ax is equal to B, that is equation 2. Now we will form the augmented matrix. So this, leaving the last column, remaining part is A. So take this A as it is, and then B is a this one. Identify the first diagonal elements. I have to make all element lying below the 0. So the operation for this is R2 minus R1. For this one, remember here, note here, you have to make use of this diagonal element only in order to convert the element to 0. So R3 minus R1, and for this element it is R3 minus 3R1. So all element get reduced to 0. Changes takes place in second, third and fourth row. Again identify diagonal elements. Then we have second diagonal element as 1. All element lying below it must be made 0 with the help of this principal diagonal element. So the set of operation to be performed is R3 minus 2R2 and R4 minus 2R1. What we get? So no changes in the first 2 row, and the changes according to this operation in the third row is this one, and for the fourth row is this. Okay, so it is like this, 2 minus 2 times 1, 0. then 2 minus 2 times 1, 0, then 0 minus 2 times 0, 0. Then for this it is R4 minus R2. So what we have, 1 minus 1, 0, 1 minus 1, 0, 0 minus 0, 0. Again identify diagonal elements. So what we find here, all element below the diagonal is 0. So this is upper triangular matrix. So we will use this upper triangular form of the matrix in equation number 2. Recall equation 2 is Ax is equal to B. So A is nothing but the part of this K other than the last column. So that is A. This is A. Okay, this much part. Then alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 equal to the last column will be B. So B. Now multiply these two matrices, equate with the right hand side. So what we get, 1 into alpha 1 plus 1 into alpha 2 plus 2 into alpha 3 equal to 0. Let us call it as equation 1. Then next, 0 into alpha 1, 0, plus 1 into alpha 2 plus 1 into alpha 3, alpha 3. So alpha 2 plus alpha 3 equal to 0. So 0. Remaining what we observe, 0 into alpha 1, 0 plus 0 plus 0. So no need of mentioning those equations, right? So what we observe here, how many equations we have? We have 2 equations, whereas number of variables are 3, 1, 2, 3. So when the number of variables are more than the number of equations, then that system always have infinite solutions. So what we do, just assign extra number of variables. So for 2 equation we want only 2 variables. So how much is extra? Only 1 variable. So what we do, we will assign 1 variable an arbitrary constant value. So let alpha 3 equal to k, where k is an arbitrary constant value. Put this in equation 2, we get alpha 2 equal to minus k. Similarly, once we get alpha 2 and alpha 3, put this in equation 1, we shall get alpha 1 as minus k. So like this we have obtained alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3, which are in terms of arbitrary constant. So obviously for k not equal to 0, all alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 is not equal to 0. So therefore the given vectors are linearly dependent. So what we do, we will put this in a equation number 1. Equation 1 is alpha 1. So alpha 1 is minus k into x1 plus alpha 2 is minus k into x2 plus alpha 3 is k into x3 equal to 0. Divide by minus k, you will get x1 plus x2 minus x3 equal to 0. So this is a required relationship between the vectors when they are linearly dependent. So I hope through this presentation the concept of linear dependence and independence is clear to you, and you shall be able to find out the relationship once the vectors are linearly dependent. So thank you for watching the video. Keep learning. Thank you once again.